Angela, you actually are leading the diversity and inclusion efforts again, and certainly the firm is getting recognized for that. And best place to work, you've always been high in the rankings, and I'm sure that some of your work on diversity has something to do with it. Can you just mention one or two specific things that you have done in the workplace that you felt have had the most impact in addressing the challenges?
I think partnering with your leadership and making sure that you have complete buy-in from the head of your organization down through all of your management is critical. And so our leadership plays a really hands-on role in our diversity and inclusion programs. The other thing that we've done is really recognize that diversity has to be a core value of the company, in our case, the firm, and every level of management has to reflect that. So in addition to having me in a senior full-time role focusing on diversity, equity, and inclusion, we have what we call practice group diversity partners. These are senior partners in each practice group whose responsibility it is to ensure that diversity and inclusion is at the forefront of the work that they are doing, and that they are actively involved in monitoring things like workload distribution, performance, amount of billable and quality of billable work, because that's where the day-to-day experiences are of our diverse attorneys. And that's where we need to make sure bias isn't creeping in. Because if you are in a law firm, you know your success, it rises and falls based on the number of billable hours you have. And so the question is, how is that work being distributed? And those practice group diversity partners, so the spreading down and broadening of your diversity leadership, they are watching that. They are active in workload distribution. And I think that's been really effective in trying to make sure that people are in the line for promotion, are in the line for long-term success at the firm. The other thing that we've done is focus on racial justice. As you all know, here in the States, with the George Floyd incident and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor, corporations have really sent a message that they are listening and that they understand. And we've done that with our people by having panels where we've had our Black executive staff, some of our Black attorneys share their experiences with racism and help educate their colleagues. And those have been really well received and have started a dialogue, which in turn leads to action.
Yeah. So leadership from the top, a diversity lens in all you do, and then facing the toughest issues and engaging all your employees with it. Roberto, what have you done in Natura that you're specifically proud of, where you've seen a significant step change?
Well, the first thing that I would say is not enough. I think it is important for all of us to realize that, you know, we are not in a point to celebrate anything related to discrimination and racism. I think we all can learn more and do much more. And we have this approach at Natura & Co. You know, we don't know what we don't know. We needed to better understand some of those systemic issues to really get much deeper in some of those things to potentially then drive the right initiatives. But one of the things that at least we are trying to do is being more intentional about it. So in terms of how we are hiring people, be more intentional. So in Natura, for example, in Brazil, we created an internship program, and we actually intentionally end up with 50% of them being, you know, Black descendant. The other thing that we're trying to do, and I think we talk a little bit about, is from a product development. We work in cosmetics and makeups. We tend to try to, you know, develop products to different skin tones. And intentionally now we are putting a lot of emphasis. We just launched 7 different foundations for Black women in Brazil, developed by Black women that really understand the difference in terms of skin tone, what they're looking for. So intentionality, I would say, is number one. Number two, tracking and holding people accountable about the progress. As you all know, we launched last year our Commitment to Life 2030 principle and agenda. And one of the key goals is to really increase representation of underprivileged, underrepresented population in our management and above across our entire business. And we are targeting to get to 30%, we're not going to get this done unless we get better metrics, better way to understand our workforce differences, and then really holding our teams, our management, ourselves accountable to really get to those specific targets. So intentionality, accountability, and make sure that we also have the self-awareness that we don't know what we don't know and we need to do more.